Good afternoon, students. And today we are just going to start up with a new chapter, that is chapter number 3, that is plant kingdom. Clear? And as we have already discussed in our previous chapter about the classification system that was proposed by R.H. Whittaker, under which he has classified all the living organisms into 5 broad categories, that is the monerans, the protistans, the fungi, the plantae, and the animalia. And in chapter number 2 we have studied in detail the classification of detailed classification of what to say the monerans, the protistans, as well as the fungi. Now today in this chapter we are just going to study the detailed classification of the plant kingdom. Clear? So when we are telling about the plant kingdom, this plant kingdom again it is classified into what to say 5 broad categories, that is what to say thallophyta or the algae. You can call it the algae or the thallophyta, algae or thallophyta. Second is bryophyta. Third is pteridophyta. Fourth is gymnos. And next is angiosperms. Okay, but first before moving ahead with this, we shall first try to know how the classification system of the plants have been proceeded further on, how various scientists from all over the world they have what to say classified the various living organisms. So when we are talking about this the very ancient system of classification, according to the ancient system of classification, when we are talking about that was known as artificial system of classification. Okay, and according to this artificial system of classification, only the gross morphological features were taken into consideration for classifying the the plants. Clear? Like the type of the habitat that the plant is found in, or the type of the leaves, or the type of the stem, or the type of the root, or the type of the shoot. Accordingly, this was taken into consideration for classifying various living organisms. Getting my words? So this system of classification, as in as it was only including only the gross morphological features and it was avoiding the other features, therefore it was not what to say an appropriate system of classification for classifying the plant kingdom. Clear? Then came another system of classification, like which is known as the natural system of classification. So when we are talking about the natural system of classification, according to this system of classification, this classification system, it includes all the characteristic features. When I am saying this, it includes the anatomy, it includes the histology, morphology, physiology, everything that can be included, the behavioral pattern of the plants, etc., etc., the type of the habitat they are found in, the cellular structure, XYZ. It includes all the characteristic features which can be taken into consideration, and this is a very appropriate method of classification, because it is not involving only the habitat or the gross morphological features, but it is involving all the criterions which can be taken into consideration in the plant kingdom. Includes habitat, cell type, morphology, histology, physiology, etc. Clear? So this is known as the natural system of classification. Now, as we are moving ahead, our next system of classification, it is going to very recent system of classification is the phylogenetic system of classification, or we can also say it as phylotaxonomy, or it is simply said to be the phylogenetic system of classification. So when we are talking about this, the phylogenetic system of classification, as you all know, phylogeny deals up with the study of the ancestral relationship, okay, among the various species among themselves. So it leads phylogeny. Phylogeny means the relationship from the very past time. Clear? When the organisms, they were being evolved into different lines, then what is the common ancestral lineage that every organism do follow? This is known as phylogenetic system of classification. Nowadays it is very much in consideration, as it is including the embryological study, the fossil records, etc., etc. Clear? Now, another system of classification which is known as numerical taxonomy. That is also very much in vogue nowadays, since the different characters, they are assigned by numbers and codes, and then the data is proceeded, and because of this system, it is made possible that a large number of the characteristics can be studied. Getting my words? So numerical taxonomy is is an advantageous system of taxonomy. Characters are assigned numbers and codes. Okay. Now, next system of classification, it includes cytotaxonomy. Cytotaxonomy, the word is cyto. Cyto means cell, and taxonomy is again the classification system. Clear? So when we are dealing up with the cytotaxonomy, basically it includes the detailed study of the structure of the cell, like the number of the chromosomes present, the type of the chromosomes, the type of the nucleus, the type of the other cell organelles, etc., etc. etc. Clear? Next, the next type of the taxonomy is chemotaxonomy, and as the word suggests, chemotaxonomy. So the word over here is chemo. Chemo comes from chemical. And again, taxonomy is the mode of classification. That means this is a system of classification which is based on detailed study of the chemicals that are present within the cell itself, that are the constituent parts of the cell itself. So by studying of various type of the chemicals, it helps us out to resolve various problems of classification system. So it includes detailed study of various biochemicals present in the cell. So students, these are the various type of the classification system on which nowadays the plants and various living organisms, they are being classified. Getting my words? Now again we are just going to move ahead with the classification system of the plant kingdom. So when we are talking about the classification system of the plant kingdom, and as I have told you all that it includes it is divided into 5 broad categories, and it includes what to say, the very first is algae or the Thallophyta, second is the Bryophyta, third is the Pteridophyta, fourth is Gymnosperm, and fifth is Angiosperms. Clear? So just I am going to give a what to say superficial detailed account of all these groups over here. So when we are talking about the algae or the Thallophyta, these are basically marine organisms, or you can call them they are water dwelling organisms. They are present in water. Okay. Second, they contain thallus-like structure. Their body organization is thallus-like or sac-like in structure. Okay, the body is not differentiated into the root, stems and leaves. Okay, talking about the Bryophyta, next is Bryophyta. Bryophyta, these are known as the amphibians of the plant kingdom. Clear? As they are said to be the amphibians of the plant kingdom, that means they are basically terrestrial plants, but they are dependent on water for reproduction. Clear? Next is when we are talking about this system of Bryophyta. Again, their body is what to say. It is containing pseudo stems, leaves, and roots. Into false roots, stems and leaves. Clear? Now talking about the Pteridophyta. Pteridophyta, when I am talking about the Pteridophyta, these are the first terrestrial plants, or these are the first land plants. Okay. As I said you all that these are the first land plants, therefore they do possess a complex body organization, and their body is differentiated into the actual roots, stems and leaves. Okay, now talking about the gymnosperms. Gymnosperms, again their bodies, they are differentiated into the actual root, stems and leaves, and they do possess seeds which are naked, that are not covered. Okay, now talking about angiosperms. Angiosperms, these are also regarded as the higher plants. So when we are talking about the angiosperms, these are the higher plants, and what to say, the very basic characteristic, that is they possess the seeds which are covered. Basically, these are known as the flowering plants. Clear? Sexual reproduction is very much prevalent in them, and double fertilization is the basic characteristic feature of the angiosperms. Sexual reproduction and okay, then these angiosperms, these are also classified into monocots and dicots. Monocots means which bears two cotyledons, and dicots means which bears mono means which bears only one cotyledon, and dicot means which bears two cotyledons. Getting my words? So this is the classification system which according to which the plant kingdom is classified into various categories. Now we are just going to move ahead with the general account of algae or Thallophyta. So now we are just going to deal up with the general account of algae. Algae, these are basically marine organisms, and they can also be freshwater, but basically these are marine organisms. Okay, they can be unicellular as chlorella, or they may be a multicellular filamentous form. When they are unicellular, they might be present in colonies like volvox. These may be unicellular like chlorella and volvox. Okay, and when they are unicellular, they form colonies. They may form colonies. Example is volvox. Okay, some of them, they are multicellular in nature, and the multicellular forms, they are present in the filamentous forms like Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra. Okay, some of the forms they form like massive plant like bodies in the marine environment, for example kelps. Massive plant bodies known as kelps. Okay, next, the next is when we are talking about the next, again talking about the cell type, the cell, these are unicellular, no, these are what to say, these are photosynthetic, eukaryotic, autotrophic organisms. These are eukaryotic, autotrophic organisms. Okay, now this is all about the habitat and the cell type, etc. Now we are just going to discuss about the other features. It includes the mode of nutrition. The mode of nutrition is basically they are heterotrophic in nature. Now when we have talked about the what to say, habitat, as I told you that they are basically marine, but they are also found in a wide variety of habitats. Clear? So when we are talking about the variety of habitat, they are either they are found as symbionts with what to say, fungi, for example lichen, or they are found in association with what to say, animals, for example the sloth bear. Okay, the body, as I told you all, that the body organization is very simple in nature, and it is either thallus like, that is it is either thalloid or sac like in structure. Next when we are talking about this, the next example is what to say, when we are talking about the mode of reproduction. When we are talking about the mode of reproduction, it follows all the three mode of reproduction, that is the vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction, and the sexual reproduction. Okay, now when we are talking about what to say, vegetative reproduction basically it takes place by fragmentation. That is, each fragment, it grows up, it tends to grow up into a new thalloid like structure or thallus like structure. Getting my words? Then when we are talking about the asexual reproduction, it takes place by spore formation, and these spores, they can be either the motile spores, or they can either these are basically the motile spores containing the flagellas, which are known as the zoospores. Getting my words? And when we are talking about the sexual mode of reproduction includes the fusion between two gametes. Clear? And when we are talking about two gametes, the fusion between the two gametes, it can be either isogamy, that is the gametes, they are either motile flagellated and they are of the same size, which is known as isogamous, or they can be either anisogamous. Anisogamous means they are flagellated, but their body size is different. sometimes it is of the oogamous type. Oogamous type means when when we are dealing up with oogamous type, that is the female gamete, it is non-motile structure and it is larger in size, and the male gamete, it is smaller in structure and it is motile in nature, and thus the fusion between these two gametes take place. Clear? This is known as oogamy. Okay, so vegetative includes fragmentation through motile spore. Asexual includes through motile spores, and sexual reproduction, it includes either isogamy and isogamy or oogamy. Getting my words? So these are the three type of the mode of reproduction. Now dealing up ahead. Economic importance of algae. Algae are having a large amount of economic importance. So the very first economic importance is that the alga, they are capable of fixing up about 50% carbon dioxide of the world. Clear? That is the maximum amount of the carbon dioxide fixation is done by the alga. So when we are talking about the next is since they are capable of fixing down the carbon dioxide, therefore they are providing oxygen as a or they act as boosting up the oxygen level in their vicinity. Next, since they are capable of fixing up the carbon dioxide through photosynthetic reactions, therefore these serve as the chief producers in the marine environment. These serves as the chief producers of food in the marine environment. Okay, next, when we are talking about the next it includes next is some of them, some of the species like laminaria, sargassum, etc. These are also used as food, seafoods. Okay, laminaria and sargassum are used as food. Next, when we are talking about the next unicellular forms like chlorella, that it is used as an alternative source of food by the astronauts. Okay, then proceeding up to the next, these do produce various substances known as the hydrocolloids, which are capable of holding the water. Clear? Apart from this, these also produce or synthesize certain type of the substances like agar agar, which is basically used for growing up the which is used as a nutrient medium, which is used for culturing of various microorganisms. Clear? Plus agar is also used in the preparation of the ice creams as well as in the what to say jellies. Clear? Then next comes the next thing that comes out to be that is algin and carrageen, which are produced by the brown algae and the red algae respectively. They are also used as in the various industrial purposes. Clear? So these are all the industrial uses or economic importances of the alga. Clear? In our next video we are just going to discuss about the classification of the alga. Thank you.